During my college, I met this girl and we became friends, and we would hang out, we would study together, we would go to different places, we would plan on trips, and we genuinely had a great time. Though I had many female friends at that time, this one girl that I was friends with, I fell in love with her, and I expressed my interest to her, but she only saw me as a friend. So she rejected me and she friend zoned me for a fact. Right? Why am I telling you this? This is because today, at this point of time, she is my fiance and we are going to get married this year. And I want to share with you what has changed from that time to now. So, what did I do to instigate this change? At that point of time, she completely stopped talking to me because I was at that time. After a certain point, she stopped talking to me like completely. She started avoiding me, and a good friendship was destroyed. And I changed something, and now she's my fiance. So this is what happens with people and with people's goals, right? So you have goals. You might want to get rich, you might want to get a girlfriend, or you might want to be healthy. You might have some disease and you just want to be healthy. So whatever goal that might be, you might be doing all the hard work there is. You might be working 12 hours a day, but still you're still struggling to achieve that goal. So there is something that is holding you back, right? And that is the one thing that hold me, and that was the one thing that held me back getting the life that I wanted, which is me being with her and sharing our life together. So when you think about your goals, you think of this like a grand thing that you need to achieve. You put your goal on a pedestal, right? It is a very grand thing to achieve, and I'm going to work as hard as I can to achieve that goal. That can work, right? But it needs 100 times more effort and time rather than doing what I'm going to ask you to do, right? If you're going to take the hard route of hard work, at some point of time you're going to feel burnt out and you will give up, right? Because there are three planes of existence in the world, in this universe. There's the physical plane, there's the mental plane, and there's the spiritual plane. So when you think about your goal, in what way you think determines whether you will achieve that goal or not. So here's what I did, right? So instead of thinking of the goal I wanted, I started thinking from the goal. There's a subtle difference in it. So let's take a previous example. So here's this girl. I want to be with this girl so badly. I want to be her boyfriend. So instead of thinking, how can I be her boyfriend? I started acting in a way that her boyfriend would. So whenever she called me, I would be in the attitude and in the mindset that I was her boyfriend. Though I will not explicitly say to her that I love her or hey baby, like I would not show it to her. But within, inside myself, I would start treating her as if she was my girlfriend. Right? So after a certain point, she completely stopped talking to me. And I didn't want to trouble her, so I reflected back on what I did wrong. And as it turns out, I manifested this outcome of her not talking to me. Because for a long time, I was creating a distance between me and her. I was putting her as something outside of myself. And me being her boyfriend, I kept that goal as something I kept that goal as a thing to achieve. I was distancing myself from her. So whenever I thought about her, I would think, why am I still not being with her? How can I be with her? How can I make her fall in love with me? Like all of these thinking that I did, I was creating lack. within myself. I was creating distance between me and her. So whatever goal that might be of yours, if you want to get rich, if you want to get famous, let's say you want to make $10,000 per month, right? So start thinking that you already have $10,000 per month. Start feeling that way. How would you act if you already are making $10,000 per month? I'm not saying you need to spend your money irresponsibly. What I'm saying is, if you're already making $10,000 per month, how would you act? How would you walk? How would you talk? How would you feel inside? Right? So, when I thought about my money goals, I set a goal, right? And I asked myself, how would I feel if I achieved this goal? And the answer was, I would feel calm, I would feel relaxed, I would feel secure about my situation. So I started working towards that feeling instead of working towards that goal. Like, obviously, I worked towards that goal as well. But I prioritized me feeling the way I would feel if I already made that kind of money. So instead of trying to be a part of her life, I started prioritizing the feelings that I had. Instead of worrying, instead of feeling needy about me being with her, I started imagining that I was already her boyfriend and we were going to marry. I started visualizing how the situation would be if I was already her boyfriend. And I started acting that way. And once I started acting that way, changes happened. And she started feeling the same way that I did after a certain point of time. Why was that? Because I completely eliminated the distance between me and her. And that distance was entirely created by my mind. How? Because instead of me giving off the energy that I want her, I was giving off the energy that I already had her. So I would write about imaginary situations that never happened, but I would write as if they have already happened. So I would write like, yesterday we went on a date and we went to a restaurant and the food was delicious. Like, I would create imaginary situations in my mind and I would write it out, because writing those situations out creates that feeling of already having her, right? And I would visualize her being with me when I was working. So here's the thing, the subconscious mind can't differentiate between what is real and what is imaginary. So let's do an experiment. Imagine a very sour lemon and you lick it. If you imagine that, you would feel a tingling feeling on your tongue. And that's exactly what you would feel if there was a real lemon and you lick it. Or think about any embarrassing or think about any imaginary situation that has happened in your life. Or think about any sad situation that has happened in your life, any tragic incident that was happened. You would get those feelings of fear, of worry, of anxiety. This is why people have PTSD. This is why people have trauma. Right? So why not use this kind of thinking for attracting good things into our life? Why not starting acting as if you already have that goal? Why not, instead of thinking of the goal you want, start thinking from the goal? So if you start thinking from the end, if you start thinking from the goal instead of thinking of the goal, and if you still can't manifest whatever you want, and if you still can't achieve that goal in the material plane, and that's just one reason. It's because you weren't calm. You were not relaxed. Whatever you imagine as if they already happened, and you must do it in a calm and relaxed way without any disturbance. It might be physical disturbance or it may be emotional disturbance. And if you imagine a situation that has already happened in a calm and relaxed way, it must come to pass. If you have too much desire towards that wish, or if you have too much resistance on that lack of wish, of course doubts come up. And doubt is a emotional disturbance, right? And if you're having doubts, then how much ever you imagine as if your goal has already manifested, it will not materialize in the physical plane. Because if you already have something, you will not doubt it, right? So I have this pen, it is my pen, right? I don't have any doubts that I already have this pen, right? So if I want to manifest that pen, I should not have any doubts that if I have it or not. So that is why being calm and being relaxed is such an important thing in manifestation or creating your reality. So when I figured out that even after me imagining that I was already with that girl I wanted, I still had doubts whether she will love me back or not. So my mind was not in a calm and peaceful state. So I started meditating. I started doing breathing practices. I started doing pranayama. And once I started practicing meditation on a regular basis, and I increased my timing from 1 minute to 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and 30 minutes, I was feeling more relaxed and more calm. And once I imagine of a thing that I want, of already having that thing, it manifests easily. The more calm, the more relaxed you are, the less doubts you will have, and the less doubts you have, the more quicker your manifestations will manifest. Your desires will manifest. It's a very small change in our thinking. It's very subtle. And it's very easy to go back to our old way of thinking. Many entrepreneurs and businessmen entirely depend on action. They have a certain goal that they want to achieve, but they act in a way as if they don't already have it. The entire worldview comprises of them looking at physical plane and going like, oh, I don't have this. Just because you don't have something in physical reality doesn't mean you don't already have it. Once you decide that you want something, once you decide that you already have something, it is yours. There are few exceptions, of course, but that doesn't apply to 99.9% of things that you want in life. Currently, I have 0 subscribers in my YouTube channel. I mean, I have 1 subscriber, I think. And currently, I am getting no views for my videos. And yes, there might be certain things that I need to improve upon, like the way I talk or the way I edit videos. Yeah, there can always be improvements that you can do. But I already have 100,000 subscribers. I'm already getting tens of thousands of views every day. And I am acting from that goal, not thinking of the goal. Of course, now I don't have any subscribers or views, but I know for a fact that it will materialize sooner. It's going to come because I already have it. I'm not being needy on why I'm not getting views or subscribers. I know for a fact that it will come. It may take some time because the world is a mirror, and the mirror will take some time to reflect whatever I am projecting from within. that goes to, you can take this and apply it to whatever goals you might have in life. And I'm not saying that, so let's take the same example. I'm not saying that I will not research about how to make better videos, how to get subscribers, or how to get views. Those things are good because you still need to take action in some way, right? You need to, because as I said, there are three planes of existence, right? So, but still, I have no neediness towards my goal, right? It's a very subtle change, it's a very subtle way of thinking, but once you do it, your life will change.